Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Chris and I run Off to Bench, a 3D print manufacturing business where I help small business owners and entrepreneurs manufacture their products at scale. And today we're going to answer a question of how did I go from product sales to manufacturing for others? There's a lot of challenges that led down this road, and I'd like to talk about the differences between the two and why manufacturing isn't for everybody. Let's get going. My business started in this messy little corner of my basement and now has expanded out into this larger print farm where I have 10 P1Ss, I've got an A1 Mini down there that strictly does TPU, got 4 H2Ds, and I've got 2 more flex printers, a P2S and an X2D back in that corner, and I am very well prepared to buy some more quickly. The way I typically do my Etsy orders is an order comes in and I'll throw that request over to my printer, print one product at a time, and that will be the order that goes out the door. When it comes to manufacturing at scale, there's quite a lot, and it's not only the quantity of printers, but there's some additional considerations. The first difference that's really big with manufacturing at scale is power. I have officially maxed out my power in my house with a 100 amp service, and I am running 2 20 amp circuits, one to the top 2 and one to the bottom 2, and 2 15 amp circuits, one to the top and one to the bottom for all of my printers. I have an additional 20 amp circuit that runs to the back of the shop that has 2 printers, my computer, all of my editing stuff, and that's kind of the limit to what my panel can do. I can maybe throw in a few printers here or there, but for the most part, we are maxed out on power. As a small business owner who's just running a few printers, not really a big concern. The additional second thing is heat. These are essentially a bunch of little ovens sitting in your basement, and we are sitting at a balmy 85 degrees in my basement right now, hence why I have all these little fans on the ceiling. It's hot, and that's not a joke. I am actually excited for winter for once because it will cool things down a little bit. While I'm all for being scrappy as an entrepreneur, electricity and electrical demands and stuff are not something I like to skimp on. If I were starting a print farm again, I would do it the same way. I would not just chuck extension cords everywhere. You are asking for problems if you do that. It's also a bigger risk. Do things correctly and give yourself some headroom. For this next one, let's do a little thought experiment together because I think this point I'm about to make is actually gonna be the #1 indicator of whether you will fail or succeed as a 3D print manufacturer. When you're producing products for yourself, you have a set of quality standards that you will have to meet before shipping that to a customer, and they're probably pretty specific because you spent so much time and effort and sweat making this thing to just how you want it so it feels a certain way. And sometimes that can be hard to communicate. Now picture what that is in your head, and now imagine asking somebody that you've never met in person to do that same work for you at the same exact standards. What do you feel? Does your stomach drop a little? Because I'll tell you what, mine definitely does. And for me, as a 3D print manufacturer doing large scale runs for other people, that is my #1 priority. It is also the hardest thing to do because the number of processes that go into place. When doing something as simple as this, which you think, oh, I'll just chuck it on the printer, you have so many other things to consider. #1 is, how are we gonna load up the printers to get consistent results across all the machines? Remember, we're printing at scale now. #2 is, what's the maintenance of my machines? What setup do I have to do in preparation for the run to make sure that things will go smoothly? Once parts come off the printer, where do they go? And when do they get checked? These are all different pieces of the business that have to get built out for manufacturing for others, where when you're doing it on your own or for your own product set, it's not necessarily something that you have to think about as hard. It just feels a little innate, if that makes sense. All of us have run into instances where you have to meet somebody else's expectations. So communication is key, and being very good and open to asking questions along the way and at the beginning are all important in making sure that you can meet that and exceed that if possible. Next, let's talk about nothing. This is my most recent partnership and is what led me to doing a lot of the new updates in the shop, from the production software that I am running to keep track of things to some of the organization and QA checks for multi-part assemblies. This is a 3D printed puzzle, and he has an upcoming Kickstarter campaign that you can check out if you want to get on early access or anything. I'll have details down below where you can check out his website. But all to say is I was blown away when he sent me this and how cool it was. And now I am tasked with the challenge of printing hundreds of these units while all keeping track of everything. He too had the same questions that we just talked about meeting expectations. Not only did I provide a sample, send it over to him, we had many phone calls about what needed to be done, if it was something I could do, and ultimately we're here today manufacturing. So far in the production run, I have printed 4,699 individual components, and we still have 55 build plates to go, and I'm utilizing all 10 of my printers. Production will be done early August or something, but then I have to move on to assembly and getting everything done on that front, and then once the Kickstarter campaign is over, we can move on to fulfillment. Every single one of these bins houses the exact pieces for the production, and I have had to understand and learn how to keep track of all that. Before this production run, sure, it wasn't ideal, but like doing these corner protectors, which I have done many a times now, it's got 50 or so on a build plate. You need to do 1,200. You can easily calculate how many build plates you have to do, put them in a box and ship them. But with this type of work, there's a lot more nuance and complexity that goes into it, because not only does every individual component need to be QA'd and inspected, and if they fail, you need to log that, but I'm printing thousands and thousands of parts across multiple machines. How do you even queue that up? And how do you even keep track of that many numbers? Well, the answer for me was building out some software. For those of you who have been watching for a little while, I've built out some custom software that actually manages not only my print farm using tools like BAMBuddy, but really using my software, which I call Production Run, that I can drop a 3MF file into, and it will keep track of all the different manufacturing plates and data required to execute this well. Throughout the day, when I notice a printer is done, I'll pull the build plate, I will get my scanner, and I will scan the printer, and it will actually queue up the job for me and also log the number of parts on that plate into the system. I can do a QA check and deduct parts, and it will recalculate how many things need to be printed. And those are all systems that, as a small business owner selling your own products, basically unnecessary. But at this scale, 100% necessary, and ultimately, I don't think I could do this without this type of software and setup I have now. The last big one I would say is sales strategy. Now, for anybody who is selling products online, you're probably listing on Etsy and getting some sales there. Selling services like this are completely different. Working B2B is completely different. What you need to do if you're interested in getting into 3D print manufacturing is start telling everybody that you know and can actually talk to about what you do and that your printers are open for business. Although we live here in a bubble and we feel like everybody and their brother has a 3D printer, the reality is the vast majority of people still don't have 3D printers. Maybe it's because we're buying all of them, I'm not entirely sure, but there's a lot of people out there who would be interested in using the services but just don't have access to one. So make sure you get out on some type of platform or in your local community or on your LinkedIn network or something and let people know. Once people find out, they'll often maybe have a few reach outs, and that could be a good way to dip your toes in to learn if this is a sales strategy and a business model that you'd actually be interested in. That's a great segue for me to say, if you are in need of at-scale 3D print manufacturing services from PLA to TPU to carbon fiber nylon, I'm your guy. Feel free to reach out to me in my website or in my email in the channel bio. Love to talk. We can set up a discussion and see what you need. So I hope this information was useful. I'm not trying to say this to scare you away from trying 3D print manufacturing, but I do want to give you the reality that every challenge that you've faced in 3D printing your own products, manufacturing and doing that work for others is that same level of challenge, but times 50 or 100. And not only that, but you have to meet the expectations of some other person just as you would if you were to ask somebody to make your products for you. It's a lot of responsibility and also a lot of fun. These are all good, positive things to think about. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop it down below. And I'd love to help answer any general questions about this type of business model or whatever you're working on. If you like this type of content and want to stick around for more, feel free to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. If you're new here, glad to have you. If you've been here for a while, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you to my Patreon members. I really appreciate all of you and the support you've given me and my family over the last year and a half or so. And remember, live streams 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays if you want to chat with me live here on YouTube. And otherwise, I guess I'll see you guys next time. See you later.